All right, we're live. Yeah, I need your help on that one. Okay, Facebook and YouTubers. Thank you all for joining us. We're live and we're also in person. We're here at the New Year, New You, New Book event. Every year we do, in January, we do an event where we deal with wealth, we deal with our health and empowerment. And so today we got some great speakers lined up for you on today that's going to be dealing with those areas. We just heard from Marcus Hill. He talked to us about assessing our value. And now we're going to hear from Nikki Shine-McBride. She is the author of Created to Build, How to Build Your Own Custom Home. She has done it from the scratch.
From scratch.
And she's going to share with us
Yes.
her journey. So, Nikki, I'm going to just turn it over to you and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and just your story.
Okay,
Where you
first I
from?
want to say thank you for having me here because I know we're making history together to be in one of the largest African American bookstores. Woo! That's amazing. And so it's a pleasure to meet you. Um, a little bit about me. Basically, my name is Nikki Shine-McBride. I am an ordinary young lady. I'm married to Mr. David McBride. Some of y'all see him in the audience. Our story is unique because it started from pure faith. So, of course, I talk about in the new book, Created to Build, our home journey, how we literally started from nothing. When I say nothing, like a lot of our stories, just faith in God, determination, consistency, but it came with practicing godly principles. So in this book, I also talk about you creating the life that God intended, because a lot of things that we desire, it's not that we don't have it or we don't have access, it's just those principles. And a lot of things we learn from our own experiences, but also others. And in the book, I talk about just different godly principles that me and my husband practice that allow us to get to where we are today. So, going back to where we came from, we used to have a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom house. Uh, we knew about custom building, but like most people, it feel like it's just a dream or you got to work with a builder. Well, in our case, in our line of work, we do custom home audio, video, and interior design. One of our clients, we were doing wiring for them, and they built their own home. They were their own builder. So we were like, okay, where's the guy that got the hat on that, working with you? They were like, no, we wrote this, we designed it, we bought the land, and we're over the contractors. So they had a 5,000 square foot home
Wow.
and they spent around $250,000. So even though we do a whole lot of custom AV, we've been around the whole DFW Metroplex, we've seen many homes. In our mind, we're like, okay, we can't forget about the Trotters. They got like 3 acres. They built their own home. If we ever had that opportunity, we want to do the same thing. So when the opportunity presented itself, we rolled up our sleeves. We got the steps on what it takes to build your own home, and we took that leap of faith, and we actually built a 37, altogether around 5,000 square foot home, and we were our own builders. We did. So,
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
so what we're doing, going back to making history, well, I'm so excited to be here. Now I'm just gonna get free. Is that I can't keep this to myself, right? Because everyone deserves a home. With homeless rates going up, I like your new movie you just coming out with, Recession Proof. We just had the gentleman talk about real estate, how we need to get in position. This is just adding to your portfolio. This is just adding to what you've already known, your education, to now you can too know how to build your own house. It's not, I'm going through First Texas and Grand and Bloomfield. If you had the instructions, and I always think about that cake your grandmother used to cook when you were younger. You're like, if I just had my grandmother recipe for that pound cake or that sweet potato pie or that dressing during the holiday season, if I just had the recipe, I can make that. Well, I'm here today making history because we are the first African Americans that ever produced a book on how to build a house from scratch.
From scratch.
Instead of going on Instagram and Facebook and you seeing the pretty pictures on HGTV and everybody showing you what they did and who they are, how about it be you? Show me the ingredients where I can have a chance, because I was that young person that looked at pictures or desired a better home environment at one time. And I wish somebody would have just told me, here you go, let me show you. And so I want to be that person to that person that say, okay, I hear you, but I don't even know where to start. Well, it starts internally. It starts with your spirit, getting your mind right. When your mind is renewed, mind is transformed, there's nothing you can't do. And so the book talks all about that, being in the right environment, like where we're at today at Doc's bookstore. These things right here is what cultivates and allow us to grow and to become better. And so it walks you through all of these steps from the beginning, but it also shows my transparency when I was complaining about my little house. And God had to show me, thank me for the dust on the ceiling fan. Okay. So I understand there's seasons for everyone, and I had to make the best out of what I had. And then God graduated us to being able to build our own home. And so again, this is a very unique book. It's priceless, as many have told me. So many people have said, Nikki, this price is really, you can't even put a price on it because you're getting such gems, you're getting jewels, and it's something that you can pass on to the next generation. So that's what Created to Build is about.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And as I'm looking at your table of contents, and I love it. It's so inspiring. I mean, really, everyone deserves a home. Your life is more valuable than the birds. You were created for greatness. Know your worth. Protecting your spiritual house and what you value, and the underdogs and the humble always win. Just wonderful titles. So as I'm going through here, why don't you just pick a chapter that you think would be a good chapter to read for us on today?
Absolutely.
And your nails are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as I'm going through this chapter, because this book is rather thick, as you
It's a
can
thick
see.
one. But you're building a home, though. That makes
You're
sense.
building a home. So what I did something unique. We just actually went to Africa, and that's to me like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I say we're simple people, we go to work, go home, and church, and what we gonna eat, right? So God opened up opportunity where we went to Africa. So I was able to go back and go through my
What
book.
part of Africa?
South Africa,
Oh,
Cape
okay.
Town.
Oh, wonderful.
So I thought it was special, like, okay, God, this is where you created everything. And then you let me come out with the book, created, you gave me this title, like, God, I know this is you. So what I did, I was able to go back and comb through it. So because it is rather thick, I have one page that says how to navigate inside your Created to Build book. So there's a section 1 that talks about chapters 1 basically through 31 is how to build the life God intended, right? And then section 2, chapters 32 through 41 talks about my true story, which is my home journey and my husband. And then section 3 talks about how to build a custom home step by step and prepare professionally. So if you want to jump to, okay, I'm ready to build my house, you can go straight to section 3. Or if you want to say, I want to know more about Nikki, okay, you can go to section 2. So it's really easy to navigate as just letting y'all see. So I'm excited about that. But I'm going to pick a chapter that I think will be befitting for this setting.
Let me go to it. This is one of my favorites, which is chapter 12 and page 89.
Okay, chapter 12, page
I love
89.
this chapter. All right.
How many of you are thinking about building a home?
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
And even if your kids, you know, like, okay, let me pass this to my grandbaby. Let me pass this to my daughter. Let me pass this to my niece or
Generational
nephew.
wealth. Mhm.
They're gonna have it right here. And I'm gonna go to this chapter that I love. But is it okay to say this?
Mhm.
Quickly? Okay. What I love about the part about building, as you can see right here, it's so much good stuff in here. I think it's just it is so much good stuff. But it's intricate details, like
It's a lot in there.
a septic tank, what to expect, uh, the low voltage, plumbing, above ground rough end. You know, normally you'll have, okay, I see the steps, that's perfect. I got the ingredients, but to have a little more that you can actually get educated, like what's all involved when the plumbers start laying the red and blue pipe, what does it mean? So all of that's in here. The low voltage. Low voltage is basically what my company, me and my husband do. That's like the sound system, the camera system, the internet, which everybody works from home. So that's very important. How to future proof your home. What if there is a time where, okay, you know, something hit the earth? How do I future proof my home if, you know, Jesus haven't got us back in? So all of that's in this book. So it's very unique. But I'm gonna go to this chapter that I love, which is chapter 12, and this is page 89. It says, "Don't let your purpose and gifts go to the grave." Discovering why God created you. I'm gonna read a little bit of it, okay? It said, "I know some of you may have heard the famous words from our dear brother, Dr. Miles Monroe. He stated, 'The wealthiest spot on this planet is not the diamond mines of South Africa. It's not the oil fields of Iran or Iraq. It's not the uranium mines of Soviet Union when they existed, of course. It's not the oil wells of Iraq. The wealthiest part of this planet is not the sea or the food of the oceans, but the wealthiest part of this planet is right in your neighborhood. It's the cemetery.'" Wow. Dr. Monroe goes on to say that if he could mine the cemetery like we mine gold, we would be wealthy, because buried there in the cemetery are treasures, dreams never fulfilled, books and songs that were never written, and ideals that never became a reality. Inventions were never invented. Cures for sicknesses and disease were never developed. Art never painted, sermons were never preached, and ministries and schools and leaders never discovered or done here on earth. He said, buried in the cemetery, there are treasures that make God weep. And then I will add to that and say there are houses and buildings and designs and generational wealth that were never built. That's a frightening thought to me, to die and not have fulfilled my destiny or the purpose for which God has put me on this earth to do. Your life, and the gifts are very important. Although I know everyone's purpose is not definitely to build a physical house. However, everyone's purpose is to love and worship God, the creator of all, and Jesus and one another. And by building something positive of value with our gifts, time, and lives that will impact, inspire, and change the world for the better. Through that, we are fulfilling our purpose and demonstrating the glory of God by building his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven, in the hearts of humanity.
Okay, well, amen. Amen. All right. So, this is definitely a purpose for you. This whole building and
Oh my God.
all this.
You know,
This is your purpose, ain't it?
when you may tell you where I got it from,
Where you get it from?
the word. You remember when Jesus said, build your life like you would build a what? A house. He didn't say build your life like you would build a car or a boat, or you know what I'm saying, your brand. He said, I want you to build your life like you would a house. Why do he say a house? What's the significance of a house?
I'm gonna give you the mic back.
I mean, he spoke that and he dropped it in my spirit when we experienced the importance of a home. Going back to Everyone Deserves a Home, one of the other chapters, that even if the birds have a nest, okay? Even if the ants, they know how to build an anthill, how much more a human being? And how much more empowered if you knew how to build not only your life, but a home. Not only your home, but your life. You're that important. And so I know this is important to God, and that's why it's important to me.
Awesome. I'm so encouraged. I'm so encouraged. Are there any questions for Nikki? Anybody have any questions or comments for Nikki as we discuss?
So when you guys were building, what were some of the pitfalls or things that happened in the journey of it that, would be good to know about,
That's a good question.
That is a very good question. I have a chapter in here that says, don't get scammed by contractors. So it walks you through what to expect from them before you sign any contracts, how to avoid, like you said, some of the things that we may have went through. So I talk about that in the book. There is a couple that we know was on the news channel because they signed a contract with a builder, a local builder, but when the prices went up and they were still building, they tried to sell their house underneath them. And based on a certain key word in the contract, they didn't understand, if that makes sense, because it was beneficial for the builder. I talk about that in the book. So you can protect yourself and have a real estate attorney in some cases. So we do talk about how not to get scammed and how to avoid pitfalls and, don't give your money up front, all of that, because you have to be definitely prepared. And then even to hire a consultant, when you're stepping out like that on faith, especially let's say you have cash money, you're saying, I don't need a bank, I'm just going to do it all. You want to be definitely prepared. So this book helps prepare you if you're going to take that leap of faith, or if you do work with a bank, how to get a consultant and work with someone that's knowledgeable so you won't get scammed.
Okay, question?
Yes. What was the main motivating factor for you to not use a typical builder, like you mentioned, like First Texas or Grand Homes, and build yourself? Like, did you have a background in that?
You know what? A chapter in this book, which talk about exposure expands your expectations. It's one of those things, if we weren't exposed to the Trotter family that I talk about in the book, we probably wouldn't have this mindset. Even though my husband did a lot of AV work, like we worked for people like Dr. Phil, recently, the Potter's House, all types of celebrities. We worked for different people. So he saw, and this is even prior to doing their houses, back in the day, in the 90s. In our mind, we're thinking rich. You got to have money, custom. So exposure to somebody that for real look like me, sound like me, and they were transparent enough to share their journey, it expanded our expectations to say, oh, so okay, if we follow their steps, God can do the same thing for us. And so that's what happened. We were exposed, and that changed our mindset.
Awesome. We got a question back over here.
in the area of, in addition to exposure, what are some other things that one should consider that wants to build as you do, like counting the cost as they.
That's a really, really, and I've probably said that like 10 times. You'll probably say that, oh, she said that before. You're right. So I talk about the pros and cons as well. And then even just to make sure you want to assess, is this for you? Even though this worked for us, it's not for everybody. And I'm very aware of that because let's say you're working a 9 to 5. Are you going to be able to be there to see over the contractors? Or do you need to hire a GC, or project manager? So you're so correct. I talk about that in the book, and then I even describe the different tiers. Like, okay, do you want an existing home? Okay, do you want a semi-custom? Okay, or do you want a custom? Okay, let's go all out custom, what we did. So I realized there's different tiers because when I mentioned building, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I did that. And they're like, oh, but I work with my builder. That's a difference than what you just said. You're rolling up your sleeves. How am I going to take off work, or am I going to hire someone to see over this project? So you're correct. You do need to be prepared to count up the cost. Yes.
And how long did it take for you to build your house?
It was right at a year. We had one.
Less than a year to build your house?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, questions. So I want to build a house. So
Mhm.
first of all, you need to know the need for a house.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you decide that you really need a custom home or a spec home? Is there a red line to really put you that this is a custom home? Because one, you have to do the designing.
Correct.
So if you don't have a skill to do the architectural design, you will need an architect, you need a
Correct.
structural engineer,
Mhm.
and that has to go through the permit process.
Correct.
So, and most of us are just ordinary Americans, don't have the expertise to get those engineers because you don't know. If you don't, except you start looking Google and looking at the rating, and that is not a good way to get your engineers and contractors. So the first step is how do you say, okay, I need a custom home, not a spec home, then pick the contractors.
You know what? That's a really good question because I'm sure that's what 90% of the people feel. Like, I hear you, Nikki, but that's just so big. But I'm here to tell you today that, and I know it sounds simple, faith. I know it seemed like I should say something deeper, faith. Because in our case, we didn't know right off the bat. I'm gonna tell you how funny life is. It's so hilarious, and my husband is right here, a witness. We went to Jose across the street, right? He previously did some roof work, Miss Dot. And so we're thinking, okay, Jose them do construction, his whole family. We're gonna write it on paper, right? Because we had that crazy faith. And we're gonna say, Jose, can you come build this house? We're gonna move from over here in Lancaster, Texas. Can you build this house? And he laughed at us and said, oh, you need to architect. And we're like, no, we got it rolled out. We're gonna walk you through what size the room can be. Who got that kind of crazy faith in here? I don't know. Do anybody got that kind of crazy faith? If you start dreaming it up, okay, let me measure this stage. I want my bedroom to be around this size, So it was hilarious. And so we was like, you know what, Jose, you're right. We do need to go to an architect. So of course we didn't end up using Jose. But sir, to answer your question, it was faith, it was exposure, it was us doing our footwork, faith with works. Let me say that. Not just saying we believe, we won't, but actually putting to work, putting a plan together. And when we began to research and began to meet different contractors, and I talk about that in the book, like you want to get references, you want to look at their work. I mean, seeing it in person, not just some pictures. And once you know that they're a really highly recommended company or a good referral that you trust, just like you're building with a First Texas home, and I'm sure this gentleman over here can attest, they make mistakes all the time too. Am I right? And we don't have homeowners working with them and say, man, I told my toilet to be over here and they put it too close to the tub. And I'm thinking like the builder should have been there to see that. Am I right? So it's the exact same thing, except this time you trust in God first, because you can't, to me, you can't do this on your own. And then you're trusting your own self that, okay, I designed this, I was with my architect, and this is what I want, period. And I'm just gonna trust God, it's gonna turn out okay. And then I love to say, if something do happen, and I learned this from a good friend, everything is fixable. So that way you won't panic. You know what I'm saying? But faith with works, research, all of that preparation and planning, you're doing the exact same thing they're doing. They're human just like you are. It's just give me the know-how. And once you get the know-how, you're set free. Once you get the truth, you're set free. You can do it too.
Okay. Go in on that note. You can do it too. Okay, more questions. Okay, who got a question? Marcus?
So what are your thoughts about setting up contractors like like what they do when you get money from a bank and they'll do the roof first and then they'll come out there, send a draw to make sure the roof is done. What are your thoughts about just setting up a contractor like that? Like trust and prove, and just
It's nothing like having a team, like already aside, and I love that. And I'm looking forward to doing that because I'm getting more people like, okay, Nikki, who do I go to? I want you to send me somebody to consult with, or I don't want to go that route, but I want to work with a builder, or I may just want to buy a house because this is just what we talk about all the time. So I love your question. I think it will be really good and beneficial to have a team already set aside. And we do have people that we recommend on a case by case situation. And the reason why I say it like that, I'm just really as transparent as it can get and try to be as real as I can. What may have worked for Miss Doc to put up these lights may not work for you. That person might have did her good. And then you looking at Miss Doc like, well, you said that was a good electrician. And she looking at you like, well, I just recommended him. But now you putting that on her and that pressure. So I try to be so careful when it comes to recommending contractors because what may start it out good for one person may not be good for the next. So however, on case by case, and if I got a really good understanding with that person, here go the foundation guy, here go the roofer, here go the, you know what I'm saying? And then I suggest for you also to get 3 bids. And then let's just go the extra mile. This is crazy faith, but this is real. These people working on these houses, Jose, Julio, Jorge, who over this? Who doing the roof? Or who putting up the brick? Can you give me their number? Sure, because they working at First Texas or whatever, Bloomfield. These same people, they gonna come do it at your house for half the price. I'm done. I'm done. Who wouldn't want that? And you designed it yourself. I'm done.
Okay, got a question here. Is there any more questions? That might be the last question. Okay.
You have a resource where all those who are interested can look up licensed contractors within their area.
You know what? Again, it's a case by case because there's not no, you can press this button and then you go research these people. If you want to know more, you can get my number and I'll tell you more about some of the people that we've used because I don't want to make it look glamorous to you and I don't want to make it look like, okay, it's just that because in the real world of building and contracting, Pedro might be in Mexico. She's laughing. You know what I'm saying? And you saying, okay, well, you put him here, but then that's okay, because guess what? We got Marcus, there's some good African American as well as Caucasian and Spanish people that's very good as well. So if this person don't work out, okay, let's try this person. But the bottom line, long as the project get done. And we, and right now we're in a season of unity and community and valuing each other even more. And I believe in this season of life, we need each other. So you know what? Doc may know somebody. I'm talking about a licensed master professional electrician that you'll be surprised that may can get the permits and run the wire in your house and we're done. You got the green tag. So we don't want to ever count nobody out that may be your neighbor. It's that amazing when you're over your own home, how God put the pieces together. And a lot of times it be people that that be in your phone, like millions of dollars is in your phone or that, and you don't even know it. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't know they knew a low voltage person that does custom audio video on that scale, and wow, they reasonable. So that's how we kind of move right now. But there are people we do have set aside, but just in case, be open-minded. Did that answer your question? Thank you.
I have to follow up to that question. So is that information in your book? So one can look up and say, okay, these are lists of engineers, contractors, that one can look at least to start the stage. For me, I'm in that field because I do design for corporate companies. But if they don't have resources to look up that, the success rate to build a custom home is almost zero because they don't know who they get involved. So do you have that information as a start? Because not everybody will be calling you or have your personal number.
Absolutely.
So okay, I need each of the stage of contractors and levels to go through. Do you have it in your book?
It is not in the book, but it will be in a master class that's coming soon. So if a mastermind class, if you're interested, that is coming soon. We're working on that when you want to go deeper. And so, however, there is testimonials in the book where people followed exact plans that's in the book and they were very successful. Matter of fact, she's building 3 lots right now. So what's in the book is your starting point. It's your preparation. It's your knowledge. It's your ingredients of how it works. And then if you're ready to execute or go deeper, we do have mastermind classes coming soon. And again, like I just shared with the beautiful young lady back there, in case by case, it's one-on-one consulting.
Okay. All right. Now, where you set up? You all can, David, you might have to get her set up on that table back there. Yeah. Because, or would it be easier just to do it here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, her books are available. We got some. You can purchase her book. They're $39.99. It's a wealth of information. Beautiful book. So we do have some at the front counter. So definitely get your copy and get it signed. And so yeah, come meet Nikki. And now I want you to close out real quick. Let people know how to get in touch with you.
Okay, great.
And thank you
Closing
again.
remarks.
Yes, I forgot to mention, I do have a journal. I didn't
Okay.
bring it, but it is on Amazon as well. But we not ordering from Amazon, y'all. Let me say that. Docs, okay.
We'll get some in the store.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this journal is so good. This is perfect for anybody. I mean, in everybody. Can you bring it to me, David? If I had this at 20, 30, man, this is the journal.
Oh, it's a nice one. Yeah, I didn't see this one. Okay.
And so it really helps you with your goals, your prayers, your achievements, how to budget, your home designs. Again, everything starts with preparation. I know we want to jump in, but most of the things that turn out really good, you have to prepare. And so this is a good tool, even for realtors or lenders or builders or just everyday people that you want to encourage that may be going through a home situation. You want to purchase this book. This will be here also at the Docs bookstore. And this is just $24.99. It's in color. And so it just helps you begin to write the vision and make it plain, right? So this is also going to be available here. So I'll bring you those. But you can find me. My website is createdtobuild.net. Created to Build by Nikki. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is where I'm at. I'm new to social media when it comes to being on there regular, so bear with me. I'll be posting more content because this is again a new world being on social media regular, but I'm trying to catch on. But they're also here today. We do have some books, and I'm going to bring some more back. I think we got about 5 or 6 today.
Okay.
So you can definitely purchase your book, and if not, you can pre-order, and they'll be here. I can bring it back here tomorrow.
Mhm.
Tomorrow. So if you want to pre-order your book, you can do that as well.
All right. All right, so y'all, we're gonna get ready for the next segment.
Thank you.
Let me introduce the next one. Who's coming up next? Fasting and prayer. And that is Hugh Jenkins. Fasting and prayer. He'll be on in about 5 minutes, Hugh. But go ahead, let's y'all give her a hand. Come meet Nikki and get her book. And then we get ready for the next one. And I'm tripping over this thing. Okay. Nikki, if you need a table,